Jai
try to follow the truth of ourselves and not to like in your country is there. Gentlemen. So that gentleman is from in India, we recognize demonstration that is not there. Now, all of us have found our not value and on then we start the instant part need to hear it and you are doing. We are not to do anything. Simply come here and see properly and hear about that about you exercise your being more and that is represent and hear about the very important trust that you are to that. In the time of the Krishna, simply he remarked at least to hear about that life, that the marriage, our God, please come hear about Krishna and take it to Sharon. No, sorry. The Krishna is so kind that as soon as we begin to hear about Krishna, immediately we draw attention in the terms of the practice. In Krishna's attention is not drawn, still he was hearing and chanting in some part. He is not on one. So when this process is adopted, and it is not even finalized, but listed, still you get the many. Still you get the benefit. Suppose you have to attend lecture and hearing for 100 times. Suppose we have done only one or two times. You think not a single part of it is ever the Shastra is said. If by some sentiment, the class dharmam charanambajam hare, just like in our association in society, many men come, join, not exactly understanding what is Krishna consciousness, but out of sentiment. Let us join. Then you know, if there is on duty, the class of dharmam, Pra means living up. And adharma, adharma means occupation and deed. Everyone has got occupation and deed. Generally, according to Vedic civilization, uh, occupation and duties are divided according to quality. That is also, in the present age also, if one man is qualified as a medical man, he is allowed to act as a medical man. If one man is qualified as an engineer, so every man has got some occupation and duty. So, Shastra says, the count of sentiment, he gives a result. The Prabhupada, Charanam Hare, and next to the Krishna consciousness. That we done. That's all right. We cannot have joy Krishna consciousness in one back, let him become perfect. But it is sometimes so that Ajanna Pakuta Papit Pakulukiri, the culture is not completed, but by some bad association or bad association is already there because the whole material nature is bad. It's not good. So, Arjun, if one has joined this consciousness moment and let him execute the rules and regulation, then he is making progress. There's no doubt about it. But somehow or other, even all Shastra says, yes, what is the abhatra? What is wrong in that? It is equal. And if person who is occupied or engaged in his occupation or thinking very right, what is the describer? One person out of sentiment is the occupation duty and joins his consciousness movement and cannot make it perfect while in Krishna consciousness movement also. There are many instances. It seems he has no law. And this man who is very beautiful and is exactly nicely executing of Krishna. But when you gain this guy, so he is this man who has joined Krishna consciousness out of sentiment. Even just all nothing. Whatever he has done, that is permanent. He has done 1%. That 1% perfection is guaranteed. That next like it is from the second step. It is so nice. Therefore, you have to say, not to cry to our kids. Not that the inauspicity of material existence is completely finished. Even it is finished to certain percentage, not 100%. So, and what is the result? Result is the Bhagavati Thomasaki of the universe. He becomes a product in that also he cannot anything forward. Samara. Often pride means also. Not but it is so that he is hearing and even if it's fall down, they still use that take chance of hearing Prabhupada. as soon as was that she shall preach of it is the change of the Mahaprabhu's order that Haman Atmai Diya is the Mahaprabhu was doing all over. That somebody became Vaishnava simply by seeing him, by hearing him, a man became a Vaishnava. That's so. He should be in personality of Godhead. That's how much problem. No, some of them wanted to come to see that. I don't think. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, you do that. It is okay. Without community, but you become every one of you another person. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Amar by my order. You cannot become spiritual master, all of it. There must be a period. If you say that now you have made, you have very good. That means when one has received order from him, but the order is open. Order is open, but it can't be executed properly. That's it. What is that? Amara and there's no need of going out of home of the country. Any physical reflected and got supported by Nama. Pranis Sita, Kuma, he remain in your position with no need of changing your position, but if moral because or because better life. The more you hear, the more you practically you are saying all are reporting the beginning and now. There's much difference. Now the difference is coming. Simply they will. Simply means here. So our man, doctor, does not say that you give up your opportunity, give up your home, give up your family. No. There are many husbands, as we have got, we have suffered. He said, yes, you are free. It is not give up home, neither job, neither management, or myself. But he gave it because what is that right? Krishna Bhagavan. Simply, you're coming from the office, that day, like this evening, and immediately there, okay, that changing. I'm going to leave, and then you guys are left, right, and begin changing. So, he gave us so many lines to say that we should believe, spirit, and very strong book in declaration in English, some of them not in. So, we are going to language. So, if someone wants to serve Krishna, the Bhaktivinoda Thakur's life is good example. Even by becoming a responsible government officer, he is very, very high duty. provided we want to carry out order. Therefore it is said, Nityam Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is what comes from Bhagavan, Bhagavan or Bhagavan. Bhagavan means that basically the full of its opulence is called Bhagavan. So this is the part is endowed out full six kinds of opulence. That is called Bhagavan. Every word in that case got root meaning. Bhagavan is fortune or opulence, and Bhagavan what is you in self of possession. When you possess something, then this word, this happy is there. But as what also becomes bar, and what also becomes bar. Bhagavan, opulence, and bar. Bhagavan. And in connection with Bhagavan, we got Bhagavan. So this book, Bhagavad, and the devotee, is also Bhagavad. So you have to start this book as well as the first Bhagavad. Then you also got Swami Vichedana. Guru Krishna Prabhupada Bhakti Rata Chi. That Bhagavad, first Bhagavad is good. And Krishna, Guru Krishna. You have to take favor, mercy, of open. If you think that I have take the mercy of my Guru, I don't care for Krishna. Now, you have to take favor of Krishna. Or if you take the favor of Guru, then automatically you get the favor of Krishna. Just Prabhupada Guru. If you treat your Guru, that means Krishna is coming. Like you have got small child of your dad. If somebody teaches a small child, then automatically you become Krishna. Just like there is a proverb, if you love me, love my dog. Immediately, if you love the dog of Krishna, the target of Krishna, is always engaged in the practice of Krishna. Then Krishna becomes all three. What Bhaktya Bhakta Krishna says, if one worships my devotee, that devotion and that worship is more valuable than worshipping me direct. Therefore, that said, in terms of Bhagavad, you want to increase your love of God, feeling, emotion, what to stop. Then you should adopt God. In terms of Bhagavad, regular. Therefore, you see that you attend regularly the classes and hear about Islam. Then you become an art in Krishna. Bhakti, Bhakti, nice. And preach, who stop the Bhakti, they would not. Where Bhakti is, Bhagavati is what Bhakti is you, only in connection with Bhagavan. There are so many Bhakti, they are manufactured. One is devoted to his family, one is devoted to his God, one is devoted to his country, society. There are different kinds of attachment. But here it is said, Bhakti, Bhagavan. Bhakti, when you give your attachment to Bhagavan, but then it Bhakti, Bhagavan is there, And Bhakti is there, and that transaction between Bhagavan and Bhakti is performed. Impersonally cannot understand what is Bhakti because there is no duality. They do not believe in duality, Bhagavan and Bhakti. They believe that everything is one. There is no question of Bhakti in the impersonal realm or body. Bhakti is possible in duality. Nitya Nityana, that is the required. Nitya, the Supreme Being, and the subordinate being. The subordinate beings are engaged in the service of Supreme Being. That is one. So, in order to attain the perfection of this bhakti, one has to begin with Sinnatang Sapatam, and by hearing and hearing, Rashtrapraya Shloka, Avadra, inauspicious vision. What is that inauspicious vision? Before me, one who wants to become happy by working hard in this material world, they are called foolish. Everyone is trying, earning more, money more. Viva Tate Ayaraja, Kutumbam Sukhanima, Viva, daytime, the only business is, the daytime is an A, Viva, Charge, Viva, your where is money? Where is money? In your country, big, big city, all nice motor cars and driving vehicles and stuff for you purpose. Where is money? Where is money? Viva Charge. Then if you have got money, then what to do? Kutumba Varana. Kutumba means have wife, children, relatives, husband. How to provide them? How to give it money? That our country man, the Kutumba Varana, the whole day is spoiled in this. By driving car, this that way, and if money is lost, then for maintenance of family, then remains what is the night, Nitra, your teen of thought, like us, combine and so our or sex life. So this is the business of one. At night, sleeping or sex life, and at the time, get money and spend it for then where is Krishna gone? Where is Krishna gone? Where did he do that? What we call me? That for me that describe in this chapter Mula. Mula means yes. Why yes, they're so intelligent, working hard for what path? Sense getting. Nunam Brahmatra Purute because you are free to know. Their business is they have become mad to earn money and spend. Nunam Brahmatra. What is the purpose? Sense getting. In France and Paris, old men, 25 years old, 40 years old, they go to the night. They purchase tickets to enter the night club, $50. Then they select their co-partner and wine bottle, another $300. So, this is the Kurmi life. He does not know that why I am laboring so hard and why I am spending money unnecessarily in Facebook. Mula Nadijana, he, Mami, Mapravappayam, everything is there. Our literature, read Bhagavad Gita, all the Bhagavatam, yes, and life is successful. So, here, one thing is suggested Nityam Bhagavatam. Daily, daily read Bhagavatam and try to serve the first Bhagavatam, your children. And carry on. Whatever you say, you try to go. Otherwise, life is bad. Sadhu, Gurvasram, or Bhaktimarga, in the first instance is Sadhu Gurvasram, the Dharma Kricha. The first beginning is to accept the spiritual master and inquire from him about advancement of spiritual life and avoid physical bhavas. Uttam was, it is to be done freely. External bhavas. Then, Bhagavati comes. A, Uttam. Uttama means transcend. Ut means transcend. And Tama means that. Tama means darkness and ignorance, also this material one. Tama. It is dark. Because it is dark, therefore this standing as the sun of the moon. Without sun, without moon, it is dark. Just like at night, it is dark. That is the natural position. That is called Tama. Tama means darkness or ignorance. So, Bhagavan is Uttama. Uttama means above Parastasmat Bhava. There is another kingdom or another nature which is not Tama, dark. That is stated in the Upanishad. There is no need of sunshine. There is another nature. This nature, there is need of sunshine. Najapta bhasati surya. Where there is no need of sunshine. There is no need of motor. There is no need of electricity. That is, Najatra Bhasati Siddha Nam Sasanta Nabhava. You find this, Bhagavad. There is no need of these things, lighting. Because as here in this universe, we have got only one planet shining, this sun planet. In the spiritual world, all the Vaikuntha planets, they are shining. Because all of it shining, the whole nature there is shining, that is not Brahma Jyoti. So, we have got all the information, what is the spiritual world, what is the material world, why we are in the material world, why we are subjected under birth, death, old age and disease. So as we go on hearing, which come of Bhagavata, and the Bhagavata is hearing